Romano speaks about potential Manchester United January transfer targets ahead of the window and said one of our targets, Kerkez, will pick United over Liverpool as more likely to due to connections. And although he's been linked to Liverpool, United more likely. He links us to Ederson. We've also got updates saying that United are looking at Alvaro Fernandez and a couple other wing backs. We've got updates on the FFP situation, updates on the Garnacho situation. Yesterday there was reports coming out that Garnacho could be sold. We've then got more news and updates on Obi Martin being cheery, two youngsters that Ruben Amorim has taken liking to. But what is his plans for those? Kolo Muani talk again, transfer talk again. Merry Christmas. Welcome back to Alice Talks Football. Welcome back to your 10-minute Manchester United news roundup, where it may be Christmas, but United haven't got a day off. There's a lot of news going about in regards to the transfer windows. We're going to round this up into a 10-minute video for you guys. I hope the quality's all right. I hope the sound's right. I hope the video's all right. I don't have my normal setup or mic with me today. But it was said that Miros Kerkez is more likely to join Manchester United and Liverpool. The fullback has personal connections to United via family. This is a driving factor. So both Manchester United and Liverpool have been linked to Kerkez ahead of the January window. Now, Liverpool didn't spend any money in the summer, unless you count Chiesa, who's not played, which was like 12 million, and then Marmadashvili, I guess, for next summer. And the only big glaring weakness in Liverpool side is a left back. So there is a feeling that that would be quite smart for Liverpool to do. And I've always worried with where Liverpool are right now compared to us. However, it said that the player's preference, according to Romano, and he said this on the Anfield sector, is more likely to be Manchester United because of connections there. And Romano said it in the summer. We were interested in Kerkez and we were looking at him in the summer, but I think we decided not to prioritise left back in the summer, hoping that Luke Shaw and Malassi were going to stay fit, which was a little bit silly when you think about it, to be honest. And Romano's been saying probably since like March time that United had an interest in Kerkez, and it's very obvious United had an interest in Kerkez. I think he's more attacking minded than someone like an Anthony Robinson. He's obviously younger. He fits the INEOS model more. It just depends on the price. The Muppeteers said potentially could be available for the 30 million mark. Someone said his contract's only got a year and a half left on it. But according to Transfermarkt, it's till 2028. So that's a bit longer than a year and a half, if that is the case. He also said that keep an eye on Ederson for United in 2025. Two players that we've been linked to is Kerkez and Ederson, and then just numerous left wing backs. I was told back in last month that Manchester United, if they were going to make additions in January, would be midfielder and left wing back. So they want to address the attack, unless there was a major sale like Rashford in attack. They're not going to do that in January. That's a summer thing because of the options available and the price. Centre backs also one in the summer. I was told centre back in like the left-hand striker position is summer. I was told left wing back and centre mid is ones that they see potentially in January. But it said it depends which players are available and for what price, because United aren't going to buy like a Weghorst for the sake of it or an Ogarda for the sake of it. They want it to be someone that's going to benefit the team long term. Talking of left wing backs, Nuno Mendes is the preferred choice as Luke Shaw's replacement, and he is pleased about Manchester United's interest in him, according to Caught Offside. And then CM Winterburn said that Manchester United are fairly confident of signing a left back early in the transfer window. Miguel Gutierrez and Alvaro, they have interest in Miguel Gutierrez and Alvaro Fernandez. Again, players we've been linked to before. We're very obviously in for a left wing back. We had this story that I spoke about last night that Amorim set United's recruitment staff a 2-week deadline to acquire a left wing back. I think number one is Alphonso Davies. I don't think we're going to get him. I think number two option is Kerkez, but I think if we can't get Kerkez for the right price, we will look at Nuno Mendes. We'll look at Alvaro as well with the buyback clause. Does Ruben Amorim like him? We'll look at maybe Miguel Gutierrez. I think there's a lot of options out there. Caught Offside and CM Winterburn, they're not as reliable as the likes of Fabrizio Romano, but they sometimes come out with some decent information. So it's very obvious left wing backs is the area United are looking at. But the problem is, and the big question is, it was said that maybe someone like Ederson or potentially a Rashford or a Garnacho or Anthony might need to be shifted on for United to spend because of FFB. Romano said this as well. He said over 2025 and 2026, financial fair play is going to be a really important topic for Manchester United. Generating revenue from player sales will be very important for the club. And we are very tight on that, especially if we don't get it back in the Champions League, which is looking unlikely unless we win the Europa League, but we're not exactly winning games in Europe. And that means we get penalties from Adidas and financial penalties. It's going to be tough and it's not going to be easy for us. And that's something we've got to be a bit cautious about. According to Steve Bates, Sir Jim Ratcliffe has already warned Amorim that Manchester United don't have a bottomless pit of money, and with profit and sustainability targets on the limit, the Portuguese will largely have to work with what he's got. The January market hasn't yet been declared off limits, but Amran knows unless he can make compelling cases, it's likely he'll wait until the summer for his own reinforcements. I mean, compelling cases, look how we lost to Bournemouth 3-0, despite having the higher XG. Look how we've lost 3 of our last 4 games. I think there's a compelling case there, particularly for left wing back. I think the strikers aren't clinical, but at least we're creating the chances, and maybe that could be a mental thing that Amran can work with, and then we can replace him in the summer. But we need a left wing back. That left-hand side is atrocious, absolutely atrocious. Now, interestingly, Steve Bates continued to say that Sir Jim Ratcliffe is holding up the successful transfer of Nusra Mazraoui as the blueprint model for the future signing. Mazraoui obviously being 12, 13 million, maybe 14 million, been very good for us. I know he had probably his worst game out versus Bournemouth, but right centre back, left back, right wing back has been very solid for United. And I think he's one of those players that when you look at the price and what we got him for and his versatility and the fact that he stayed fit as well, and Bayern Munich fans said that he was always a good player, I think that's been a really good addition in Mazraoui, and I think we need more signings like Mazraoui. Can we get a left wing back, more attacking version of Mazraoui? Can we get someone out there that could back up Højlund? Delap maybe? I think, I heard something that United were looking at Delap from Ipswich. Again, that would be a summer one. Could we get Cunha in for left 10? Could we get Kvaratskhelia to replace Rashford with? I think Kvaratskhelia is probably the best option to replace Rashford with. We need those options. Continuing on. It was said by Steve Bates, the sources say Garnacho is still stung by Ruben Amram's decision to exclude him from the squad against City. Amran and his coaches see huge potential in Garnacho, but believe his temperament and application is more volatile than Ahmad, who is seen as a more grounded youngster and hungry to learn. There has been this talk of Garnacho before. He's been one that needs to be disciplined a little bit more than maybe the likes of other players. Ahmad was treated badly by Ten Hag but shut his mouth, whereas Garnacho sort of likes things on social media and stuff. And look, Garnacho's 19. That can happen at his age. Hopefully maturity, he snaps out of that. And look, I have mixed feelings about Garnacho. I think he's a good player. With a good potential, and I think you've got to remember he's 19, and when you're 19 and you're thrown into a negative environment, if he's underperforming, let's not be too harsh. But then I also think Amran wants left 10s, not left wingers. Garnacho was more suited to Ten Hag ball 4-3-3, being a left winger, playing more out wide than playing more inwards. I do worry about Garnacho as a long-term fit for Amran's system. There's a good player there, but he needs to improve his decision-making. He needs to be more clinical in front of goal. That can be coached into him. That can be developed into him. I think his instincts are good. I think his directness is good. I think Garnacho could go on and be a good player, but the question mark about it is, does he fit Amran's system? What's going to happen there? Could United look, this is an opportunity to cash in on someone and raise some funds? It'll be interesting to see what happens with Garnacho between now and the end of the season. A lot of people are just completely writing him off, which I think, yes, he's not been great this season, but we've got to be realistic. Last year, for what he did at age 18, 19, was very good in an underperforming squad. This year he's been disappointing, but he's not been maybe as awful as people make out. He's still got 8 goals or something this season as well. He's got more goals than Lamine Yamal and people. I think, he's been wasteful and frustrating, but I think you've just got to realise how young he is. Talking of other youth players, it was said that Gabriel Bianchiri and Obi Martin have been impressing Ruben Amrin. However, he's fully focused on his first team pool. The sources say he isn't looking to upgrade any of Manchester United's top youngsters just yet, was said by Steve Bates there. So again, there was talk of, with the forwards not being clinical, it could be Bianchiri or Obi Martin, and even Wheatley. Now, Bianchiri and Obi Martin, I'm sure, are pressing Amrin. They've been fantastic in the academy, but I heard this as well, and we spoke about this in a live stream before. Ruben Amrin wants to get used to the first team, know his first team players before he does proper assessments in the academy and who will bring in. Golbo Kokoni obviously caught his eye because of his physicality, and Ruben Amrin knew from day dot. That's what we lack, but I think it's more pre-season. And then next season, where the youth will be integrated, when Amran can assess them in pre-season. I think Sekou Kone, Bentito Mantato, I think Golbo Kokoni could be ones. There's talk about Jim Thwaites and other players that have impressed him as well. It'll be interesting to see who catches his eye. And also, in terms of other stories, this was said by Florian Plettenberg, and Florian Plettenberg seems to just link someone to Man United every day because he knows it gets clicks. I think Kolo Muani's agent is desperately trying to get him moved by linking him to everybody. I don't think there's much in it. It wouldn't make a lot of sense. Bring another underperforming attacker in. Why? It wouldn't make sense. But apparently Kolo Muani is expected to leave PSG in January. Talks over a loan with an obligation Manchester United are monitoring the situation, but a January transfer is unlikely at the moment, says Florian Plettenberg. But apparently we're monitoring the situation. Maybe we are. If we think we can get him on loan on the cheap as an upper option, maybe we are. But I don't see this happening, if I'm going to be honest. He's been linked to every single club out there as well. So I think his agent's looking to get him a move. He's been pretty poor at PSG. Anyway, guys, that is your Manchester United transfer news rounded up into 10 minutes. I hope you have a really, really good Christmas. Thank you for watching. Bye.